Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Aquarius March 2023 weekly tarot bite reading. Now, this reading is truly, when I talk about a tarot bite, this is just like a bite of a reading, of a tarot reading here, where normally my expanded illumination readings are a little bit longer in length. This is going to be just about a 10-minute reading to really give yourself a place, a message to focus on for the week that's really going to ground you in staying present and staying aware of a doorway that really is opening for you to walk through this week to continue to stay in flow with your spiritual growth, an opportunity to level up, as it were. So we have past life activation, Aquarius. I like this, number 35. And we are looking, and you know what, actually, it's interesting, Aquarius. I was actually, I was meaning to do Libra's reading, and I just randomly said Aquarius. So apparently, Aquarius, this is your reading. I'm sorry that kind of came through muddled. It came through muddled for me, but apparently you were pushing forward here. So Aquarius, past life activation, number 35, breaks down to the number 8. I love the number 8 because that number is all about personal empowerment. It can also be about incoming physical abundance. It can also be about empowered leadership. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull the book that comes with this oracle deck, and we're going to read just a short little snippet of the description here. I'm not going to get into the full message because they're very long, but it says, you have talents within that have been developed through many varied life experiences. You've had many lifetimes already, even if you don't recall them consciously, helping you evolve and grow into the loving being that you are today. Your desire to grow in consciousness and spiritual power to assist the divine plan unfolding throughout the universe is heard and supported by the spiritual worlds in all ways. To this end, past life material is being activated now for your benefit and the greater good. And I love this. So this is kind of that guiding message that Spirit's asking you to focus on for this week. Now, for those of you who believe in past lives, this could literally be just something from almost like an ability just springs to life out of nowhere, or an interest in something all of a sudden just kind of comes in and you're like, oh, that is, it could be like where, you're reading something and it kind of gives a segue, or somebody brings up a topic and you're like, oh my gosh, I would love to know more about that. And suddenly it opens a whole gateway towards something else in your life, a new career path, or, new hobby or area of focus. This can also, for those of you who don't believe in past life activation, this can be more, I feel like this card comes in when we are maybe a part of our physical experience in this lifetime, like a part of ourselves that we forgot about. This can be like that random job you had for 2 years when you were 20 and you gained a skill set at that time that maybe you haven't utilized in many years because you went into a different work avenue. This can be where maybe you segued out of being maybe a stay-at-home parent and you went into the work environment, but now something that you learned as being a stay-at-home parent, maybe how to prioritize your time or something like that, or maybe your love of cooking that you developed during that time comes up. Or this can even be where maybe you go even way to the distant past, you were highly creative and you loved to paint or write as a child, and suddenly that talent is coming fully formed right now so that you can take advantage of a doorway that's opening for you. So whereas all of a sudden, someone comes in and says, I would love to, I've been trying to create a tarot deck and I just can't seem to find an artist that wants to do the artwork for me. And all of a sudden you're like, well, wait a second. Me, or somebody's like, I've been really looking for someone to, maybe co-write a book with. And I just, just like, oh, wait, it's me. So this is kind of an interesting week for you, Aquarius. Again, bringing forward something, a talent, a gift, an interest from the past that is maybe having the chance to be expressed. That's going to help you now with your spiritual growth. Okay, so here is where Spirit would like you to be curious about. This is kind of allowing you to adjust your internal gaze towards the doorway that's opening for you. The Knight of Pentacles. Now, this, for some of you who know the tarot well, this might seem like a very uninteresting card. You're like, boring. But the Knight of Pentacles is a card that harnesses the energy of Virgo. It's a very dedicated step-by-step process. Now, for a very few of you, this actually might, because it is one of the court cards, this could represent a Virgo in your experience that is coming in and is literally going to be opening the gateway for you to bring forward this past life activation or this past gift, where this person comes in and says, I have a very... This individual will be someone who is very stable. They can be slow moving because they are very strategic. They like to have kind of all the steps planned out. They're looking to see, this is the harvest they want to have from the one seed they're currently carrying. So this could be somebody coming in who harnesses that energy, who says, I'm looking for someone who's going to fill this need for this long-term plan. Or I have something that I think would be great. I just, would you be interested in helping with this? So there's something here around that, which I do get the feeling is the portal could be in the way of an individual coming into your experience this week. All right, so let's go ahead and pull from the Power of Surrender cards here. So this is going to be where Spirit would like you to have the courage to surrender to the message on this card, so that you can walk through the doorway that is opening for yourself here. So Aquarius, let's take a look. What does Aquarius need to know? About where they need to surrender, about where they need to be courageous in being able to walk through this doorway. For some of you, the past life activation too could be directly linked to this energy of Virgo, to this energy of planning. Maybe you are able to kind of dust off your ability to draw up like a long-term business plan for somebody. Or you're able to, maybe you've had a past business and somebody's like, hey, I need help. You've done this before. Can you, help me with this? That could be something along these lines as well. So it says surrender. And so again, with the Knight of Pentacles, any place where it's kind of has like that expanded long-term view of, I have this, but I want to get it to here. So again, this can be anywhere where you have been able to draw up a plan for a project or for a business plan, something along those lines. So it says, surrender your attachment to results. It says the formula for success is to do all you can to make things happen. Then let go of the results. Holding on too tightly to a desired outcome can sabotage that. I like this because this speaks to someone may have a plan. That plan may even be you. But it's more about getting yourself focused on the slow and steady movement towards something or the opportunity, but to not be so fixated on, but it has to reap this exact result. So meaning, like let's say somebody does come in and says, hey, I want to create a tarot deck and I'm looking for an artist, and you're like, ooh, me, I'd love to do that. And they're like, okay, well, this is what we're doing. Every day we're going to, pick one of the cards and, we'll talk about what we want it to say, and then we'll talk about what you're going to draw, that kind of thing. But if all of a sudden down the line, maybe you're so focused on, I want this tarot deck to be, online, it's going to be X amount of money, but somewhere down the line, maybe something changes and suddenly maybe rekindling of this past, artistic expression for yourself makes you also realize that, as much as I want to keep working on this project, I also want to just pick back up in painting in general. And maybe this is opening the doorway to something, to really embracing a creative talent of yours, but in multiple ways. So kind of keep that in mind as well, that there could be a much broader application for a plan or a project. This could be also where you're like, sure, I'll come help out my buddy build a business plan. And suddenly from that comes, your ability to maybe consult in some area where now you are the one who actually helps others create business plans, and you never thought about doing that before. But there is something here around, again, stable, steady, slow moving, have a plan, but again, also not being fixated on the full outcome, because I do think there's a bigger piece here that maybe some of you are missing in where this past life activation or this past ability or talent is actually going to take you. And this is just kind of putting our toe in the water here. So let's see what Aquarius... what does Aquarius need to know for contemplation? So I'm pulling a card now to, Spirit is asking you to really kind of help integrate into the quiet in-between moments in the week. Into your meditative practice if you have one, or just into, that morning, quiet morning period when you're having your morning cup of coffee, or you're just sitting at your desk and you're zoning out, or you're, just having that moment in the car, whatever it is. And this is what Spirit would like you to bring your attention back to, so that you can continue to kind of stay on course with this doorway that is opening for you. Helps bring you back to the present moment too, so that we don't just let these minutes of the day kind of slip by unnoticed or without awareness. What does Aquarius need to know? Man, if your card doesn't come out, I'm going to pull it here. Okay. This is so crazy. This card now has come out for 3 different signs. And I guess I'll give you, there's quite a bit here. That's a little muddled of a message. Let me see. I'm hearing just the first 2. Okay, so we'll just do the first 2 instead of reshuffling. So we have Fox Spirit, think on your feet, which I love, because this does speak to kind of that keeping yourself in that state of kind of creative flow of, like, again, something else might come in and this might be like, ooh, I'm just going to also segue and do that. But the Dolphin Spirit, this and that are truth. Number 20 breaking down to number 2. This can be where, you might be able to integrate both of something into your experience, where maybe you do continue to work on that tarot deck with the individual, but you also decide to start painting. Or this could be where, this version of yourself that's coming forward is a part of yourself, and a part of yourself that Spirit wants to bring forward now. But the other part of yourself is something also that is meant to be continued. It's not like all of a sudden this past version of yourself comes to be and you're just meant to leave the old version of yourself behind. It's almost like there's this kind of, it's an integrative week for you to bring something from the past that might be, again, a past ability, a past hobby, a past interest, even that maybe you were really into something at one point, you kind of got away from it, but that there's a way to integrate this into like a very steady plan, or something that kind of a project that maybe has a long-term goal, but yet is going to allow you to kind of, I think, integrate both who you are, but also with this new talent kind of added to the mix. And that might be with the think on your feet. That might be the kind of aha moment of like, oh my gosh, I can apply this part of myself to another aspect of my experience and continue to, and it will highlight something else, and it will open this door to something new for myself. But don't be so focused on what you think it might be bringing in. Be more focused on just really focusing on what's being activated in you and how you can just integrate that into your everyday life and what you currently know. It's like just adding another thing onto it, because it's going to, I think, show you perhaps a new way to do something with a broader application that you're not even aware of yet. Okay, I'm going to leave it there, Aquarius. I hope you all have a wonderful week ahead, and I look forward to reading for you next week in the more expanded illumination reading. Bye, everyone.